Hi, I'm Millie Thew and I played Emma.
I'm Luke Day-Hill, playing the part of Danny.
I'm Nadine Burton and I play Zoe in Fractured Minds.
Hello, my name's Joshua Frater-Lachlan and I played the role of Justin in Fractured Minds.
Why did you want to be involved in this production?
I wanted to be involved in the production because, as an actor, I'm excited by challenges. I always want to challenge myself. And even from the early stages of reading the script, reading scenes, reading the character bio, I knew this was going to demand a lot from me. I knew it was going to take a lot. And I knew it was going to be a really demanding picture to be involved in. So, I always want to challenge myself, and this seemed like a huge challenge.
I wanted to be involved in this production because mental health is something very close to my heart, and I wanted to help break the stigma because there's far too much stigma around not just mental health but men's mental health.
Mainly just to spread more awareness. I think mental health is quite a big issue. It's underplayed a lot in the public eye. A lot of people go to their day-to-day suffering in silence, and many of us don't realise.
I wanted to be involved in this production because it's such a big issue at the moment that nobody's talking about. It's the biggest issue that I think that young people have to face growing up, and it's just something that I feel really passionate about, and that everyone I know has either struggled with mental health or knows somebody who's struggled with mental health, and people need to have a conversation about it, and I hope this will.
So what was the most challenging part about bringing this script to life?
The most challenging part about bringing the script to life? Definitely, I think how alien it was to me, in a sense that it was hard for me to find some of the emotions, because they were, so high or so low sometimes. So every day was pushing myself to find that. I also think I always like to work a lot, with rhythm as an actor. I always like to work a lot with music, and I think, that really brings it to life, finding a rhythm of a character or finding the rhythm of the film.
The challenge I felt was doing the character justice and putting yourself in their position and trying to make sure that you did a good job because it was something so traumatic for them.
Probably tapping into that dark, negative space again. Like Justin, as he suffered with depression. I've suffered with depression before, previously. I think going back to that place and up-digging them negative thoughts, that was a bit exhausting.
I felt that the script challenged me because I was always, I felt like I was a bad person in the script. Yeah, I could understand where my character was coming from. So whilst having to be such a horrible person, you still had to have empathy for what I was doing, yet whilst understanding as myself and not as the character what's going on.
So what do you love most about this character?
What do I love most about the character? I love how brave he is. I love, how he always wakes up and puts a smile on his face and goes to work and continues on his life, even though there are the demons that are, definitely ever present in his mind. And I love how loving he is. I really do. I think, how sensitive and vulnerable this guy can be. I really fell in love with that.
I loved her closeness with her son. Their relationship was more like brother and sister than mother and son, and they so desperately wanted to help each other, but I don't think knew how until the end of the film.
I feel like I know him, in a way. Quite close to home, quite relatable as well. I can relate to a lot of how he feels, and even down to the dialogue is how I'd explain a lot of my own self.
What I liked about the character is that she didn't really hold back. She was very headstrong, and it's something that I would not admire to be more like. I wouldn't want to be more like Emma, but I would want to have more of a courage to say how I feel. So that's what I liked about her.
Because this film is about mental health, did it take any toll on your personal mental health whilst you was filming?
it definitely took. Whilst I was filming that, there's actually a moment that it definitely, touched me. Mental health touched me in a way that it never has before, and that's when we were filming the first scene with my on-screen girlfriend Millie, and I'm in this state of depression, this state of rage where she finds my pills. And I remember we never rehearsed it. We only really spoke about him slamming the door on her, and then the reaction. And I just remember in the moment thinking to myself, this really happens to people. In 2 minutes, someone was gonna yell cut, and it was gonna go back to reality for me. But this really exists in some people's lives, and that that really stemmed up a lot of emotions for me.
What was the biggest challenge about taking on this role in particular?
The biggest challenge of taking on this role was realising that everybody has a bit of mental health in their life that they need to address, and trying to use that to help tell the story.
Knowing the line between myself and the character, sometimes it gets a bit cross-wired. How I'd be feeling or how the character would be feeling. So yeah.
The biggest challenge on taking on this role was that it's such a serious issue, and I didn't want to portray it in a dishonest way, because this happens in day-to-day life, and this is a real situation based on true stories, and this has happened and it will happen again. So I wanted everything to be accurate.
Yeah.
What was it like working with the director who also wrote the film?
I think I preferred it. I thought it was amazing because I could see his vision and how he wanted it to be portrayed, and it allowed me to see it a lot clearer as well.
It was an incredible experience to work with someone who was directing as well as writing the film, because you could ask him anything and he would always have the right answer, and no place was too far. Any question you had was always within reach about anything. Also, I think working with a director like this was great because he gave the actor freedom to really make the character his own, which you don't get much these days. A director really wants to stamp his authority on a character, but the writer and the director giving the actors the ability to have their own interpretation and do their own thing on the set, and make the film their own and bring it to life in their own way, was really something special, really something I enjoyed in this movie.
Working with the writer and the director I found really encouraging, because I was allowed to have my own ideas and bring them to the table, whilst having someone direct me of how they see it as well, which enabled me to view things from a different perspective, and I had a different point of view on my own character, the other characters, and the situation as a whole. So it was really enlightening, and being able to have the writer there whilst you're acting is good. So if you had any questions, they got answered immediately.
Working with the director who also helped write the film was really, really amazing, because not only was he there to direct you on what you were doing, but it was helping tell his story, so he could give you so much more insight to what we were doing, and it was such an eye-opener.
What was your favourite part of being in this production?
I just love filming. I love being able to tell a story. And to be given the opportunity to tell a story that really matters and is something that most people can relate to. And the cast, the crew, it was all amazing. It was like a family.
My favourite part of being in the production has to be the set, and has to be the people involved with this film. I have to say thank you to every single person involved in this film. The atmosphere they created on set was one of pure safety, one that you felt comfortable in, one that you felt comfortable to act in, one that you felt you could really express yourself in the film, really express yourself through the camera and the character through the camera. So being on set and having a safe atmosphere where everyone was nice, everyone was pleasant, really made this film, I think, a big success.
My favourite part was, I must say, working with all the people, because it was such a professional atmosphere, and meeting all these people that were so passionate about what they was doing and really excited, because everyone was so interested and everyone wanted to do a good job, and that's really just what you want.
My favourite part of the production was the camaraderie. Everybody was just so amazing and helping each other, and, you know, helping to help you out of the scene, because there were some scenes that were so tough to do, and it was exercises going into them and exercises to help you come out of them, because there were some scenes where you would get so upset because you'd still be in that mind frame, and some of the exercises that they help you do was so helpful, and it was just how they all pulled together. It was just like one big family.
What effects do you think this production will have on its viewers?
I hope it plants the seed, gets people thinking about a lot of stuff, which I no doubt know it will. It's going to spread a lot of awareness to men especially as well. Men's mental health is downplayed a lot just because of the generic stereotype of how a lad should act, or how he should bottle up and man up, but that's not what it's about.
I think viewers are going to want to talk more about their own mental health and try and ask other people about their own mental health, because people struggle and they don't know how to talk about it, and hopefully this will bring other people to a place where they feel like they can be more open and be more honest about how they're feeling.
The effect that this production is going to have is going to be huge. I think, you know, on set, we really talked about and looked at making this film one that was going to touch people in a way, and I think the main thing about this film is relaying that it's okay not to be okay, and you can talk about your problems. It's all about, you know, men suffering with mental health and men speaking out, and you know, I really admire that, and it really inspired me to be involved with this project. You know, really grew on me. You know, people talking out and dealing with their problems and beating this illness that is there to be beaten. It's beatable, and anyone suffering can beat it. I really believe that.
I hope it has an amazing effect to help break the stigma on men's mental health in general, because, you know, like I say, it's close to my heart and so many other people's, and I think, in a way, I hope it helps people tell their story and to know that it's okay to not be okay.